comment?
No, we give them public comment usually. The whole thing is anyway.
Oh.
Wants to speak on items not on the agenda because
Wheeling Plan Commission meeting for Thursday, December 3rd, 2015 is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Dorman?
I'm here.
Commissioner Johnson is absent with prior notice. Commissioner Powers, I'm here. Commissioner Cianis?
Here.
Commissioner Zangaro?
Here.
Chairman Rafato?
Here. Thank you. Brooke, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Thank you. Citizen concerns and comments at this time. If there's anybody in the audience wishing to speak on any of the items not up for review today, please come forward. Thank you. Items for review, docket number PC 15-9, siding 1, windows 1, exteriors, 322 North Milwaukee Avenue. Site plan and appearance approval of facade and site modifications. Ms. Jones?
I'm having technical difficulties.
We have a dead mouse.
Okay. This item came before the Plan Commission in July, and the Plan Commission had several suggestions. The petitioner has returned with a complete set of plans, and I would invite the petitioner to come forward.
Good evening. If you could give your name, both your names and business addresses to our recording secretary, or if you have a business card, that's fine.
Hi, Jonathan Green, owner of Siding 1, Window 1.
Terry Frisch from Featherstone Consulting.
Great, thank you. The floor is yours, if you want to explain the changes that you're desiring.
Well, basically, the existing facility is in a bit of disrepair at this point, and we would like to make it look better. The owner or the operator currently in there, Siding 1, is a siding contractor, and they would like to use some of their products to improve the look of the building with new siding, and some new windows, new shutters, some new trim, and also reworking and resurfacing the existing parking lot. We've provided a new layout of the parking area to provide the required.
You can use the mouse to.
Pardon?
You can use the mouse to advance the pictures
I
if
don't
you'd
know.
like. All right, I can.
What I'm looking at there. The new layout, putting parking in the back, which I believe is a request that they would park their vehicles in the back area in the evenings. Handicap parking space with some diagonal parking on the side. And then we included 3 parking stalls immediately on the north of the building. I guess there was also a recommendation that we expand those spaces, which we have the space to do that, so we will incorporate that. The south side of the building, the existing driveway would be removed. Partially, that area will be partially resodded. The back portion will be captured for garbage refuse enclosure, which will have a 6-foot-high wall on 3 sides, gates on the opposite side on the back. The front area will be new landscaping, and there'll be a retaining wall, short retaining wall built in the front, because the grade really drops off at the front of the building, so we'll kind of bring that up to the normal height around the sides. And you can see on the plan where we've just wrapped it around the building, across the front and around the building. And there's a landscape plan in the set showing the new proposed landscaping. Pretty intense, I think, for this little front area, with a variety of different planting types, both green and colorful types of planting being proposed. The building exterior, again, the new siding on the entire exterior facade, including extending siding over the brick portion at the front to kind of tie the two sections of the building together. Replacing, making some larger openings at the front of the building, since this is kind of a display area. We want to be able to make that visible from the street side. So we'll do some large punched openings in the front. The siding, the front and the two long sides will be a hardy board material, which is a cement board, which we have a sample of. And just for the records, the numbers are flipped on the display, so that if you look at the schedule, the hardy board lap siding, which is labeled H1, should be the lower one in the top, where it's referenced in the top, which makes more sense than shingle siding. So the shingles are just in the upper kind of the gable end of the building, and then the rest of it will be the siding. The same siding will be used on the refuse enclosure, so it'll all tie will all tie together, look as part of the same building. Also to note, the same is true for the west side of the building, the back side of the building, which will be a vinyl material, again representing the owner's product that he is selling to on the market. Those two colors, actually the two are also flipped in the schedule, and the colors were incorrect also. The M1 should be a silver gray, and the M2s is Victorian gray. Unfortunately, they are all listed as Booth Bay or blue on the schedule.
And for the record, could you state what H1 and H2 represents, please?
As far as
Because, so that there's no confusion, H1 represents which material?
H1 will be the hardy, well, which way do you want to look at it? I was just saying the H1 and H2 on the schedule remain the same if you just go up to the drawing itself and just reverse the top one will be the H2 and the lower one is the
Okay,
H1.
so H1, for the record, is hardy plank lap siding.
Right, and H2 will be the
Okay.
hardy shingle siding. And then the M1 is the domestic traditional lap, and the M2 is the shake. But again, on the schedule at the top, they're just flipped.
Okay.
So the depiction, the table is fine, the table is correct, but the depiction.
Yeah, where they're
is-
tagged in the picture is
Should be
flipped.
reversed, so H1 and H2 should be reversed, and M1
And M1.
and M2 should be reversed.
Correct.
Okay, north and south are okay?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
That's only the colors, correct?
Yes,
Well-
Colors only, not the, okay, just want to make sure.
well,
Well, it's the
No.
materials.
well, no, it is the color. So for instance, if you look at H1,
Right?
it's, the color is light mist, and that's the lower part now.
Right.
Okay, so, and then H2 is Booth Bay Blue, that's hard to say,
Booth Bay Blue, yes, it is.
is the top
just-
part.
is the
But it's
gable.
actually depicted as blue.
The color is just switched, that's all, okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's also the material, the color and the
Color
material.
and material.
That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to.
Yeah,
Color and
the
Okay.
material also is
Okay.
Right.
switched. So the plank siding is the lower portion, and the shingle shakes are the upper gable ends.
Do we have that
So
broken?
that picture looks correct.
That looks correct.
That was one of my questions,
Right.
too.
That-
Right.
The pictures are right, the labeling is wrong.
Yeah, just the
Correct.
label. is right.
Yes,
Got it.
right, yep. So do you have color renderings of these? Of the
Samples?
samples?
We have samples of these materials.
You have samples of the materials and the colors?
Also, that first picture kind of shows the,
I got this, Jim.
Okay. I wonder if you got a deal on the material.
just to kind of restate, the three sides of the building have cement board, Hardy products. The rear has a vinyl product made by Mastic. So I think it'd be probably easiest to keep track of it. Let's show the two Hardy products, and
Great.
we'll show the two Mastic products.
Great.
I think it's best to see this close up. The first, this is the texture and the color of the siding. It's called light mist. This is Hardy. This is the size of the board. This is the texture of the board. So this is what lap siding is. It's a horizontal siding. Above it in the gable area, we'll be doing what's called a shake. This is a sample of a shake. This is its lap. So it's similar to cedar shingle, but it's the same Hardy product. It's the same cement board product. This is close in color, the actual color is blue bay blue. This product is blue bay blue. So it's closely represented by this. So that, the shingle product is
Can
used
you
only.
use a microphone if you're not going to stay in front of the podium?
The shingle product is used only in the gable of the front facade. The lap siding is used around the front and on both the north and the south sides. Vinyl's being used on the rear elevation only. So I'll show you the vinyl. This chip is a light gray texture and color. This chip. The style that we will be using is what is referred to as a 5-inch lap. That's this center one. So, and this is the actual style of siding. It's not a Dutch style, which has this additional, say, hip in it. If you look from the side, this has an additional hip. This is the exact style, the exact reveal or lap. They'll be used on the rear facade till the gables,
Step to the podium.
till the gable starts. This is the shake material, vinyl,
Can I feel that?
for the rear. Now understand that the Hardy product is never immediately next to the vinyl product, but they will look similar in the sense that this has two different size shapes to it, but you can never see the east and west elevation simultaneously.
Right.
I'm sorry, yeah, east and west,
Yeah, right.
front and back.
If you can, you're pretty good.
Sample that you were also interested in seeing was a shutter. This is the shutter style and color.
What's the material?
It's a vinyl. They're not functional shutters, they're decorative only.
Do you have a name of the color or the product?
Yes, it's called red. Sorry, I call it maroon,
Red.
but the name of it is red.
Okay.
Sure. Yep.
I'd like to discuss the two memos that were handed out this evening. They came late to us, but I just would like to summarize. The first one from the fire department. The comment number 2C with regards to egress. Staff reviewed their comments, which were with regard to the, let's see, to the railing that's placed above the one-story portion of the building. It was our understanding that this is merely decorative in nature.
Yes.
The fire department's concern is if that space was ever to be used, then that area, which would become like a deck, would need to meet all other codes. And so staff is suggesting the following condition of approval, and wait one moment, pull that up. The condition we're suggesting is if the deck that is to be surrounded by a railing is to become usable space, then code requirements for structural support, that would be for the flooring,
Right.
railing dimensions, and exiting shall be met. So that's our suggestion, and that would, we talked to the fire department about that, and they think that satisfies their concerns. The second memo comes from the engineering division. The first point was just really a suggestion for ease of access for the parallel parking spaces. I think that's a good idea to lengthen the spaces to 23 feet. There's enough room to do that, no concern. The second point, the engineering division has suggested that when the south drive is removed and then the area is landscaped and sodded, the suggestion is to remove the apron that's in the right-of-way and replace that with the sidewalk that's existing in this general area, as well as the brick pavers that are existing along Milwaukee Avenue adjacent to the street itself. The area would be curbed and would look consistent with the rest of the area on both sides of the street. That is the suggestion. The planning division also recommends this. We understand that that the petitioner will have to incur some additional costs, but we do highly recommend that the petitioner apply for the facade improvement grant. That's still viable for this project, and that would help to offset the costs associated with this removal of the driveway and installation of the new sidewalk and brick pavers.
Sir, do you know how we get an estimate? Because that wants to be the right brick. I think that's a special brick that is in there. And for the curb cut, et cetera, is that work performed by the city? Or?
No, you would have to hire your own contractor, and we would assume that you would hire the same contractor that would be removing the driveway and doing that site work to install the new sidewalk.
I don't know. It's
Okay, well, it would be up to
blacktop
you.
versus concrete, so
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, it would be up to you to get those estimates and to file the application.
Yeah, and the facade improvement is active, and we just reviewed it recently, and it's a great program, and you can apply it to
The entire project
the
there would
entire
qualify.
project that you're doing. So it's not
Right.
this, so you're doing the facade
Right.
improvement, it would be wise for you to apply for that.
Absolutely, we intend to.
Okay, so that would help offset, we understand the cost of adding the sidewalk and adding a curb would be incurred by you, but it would be, reduced, offset by, the facade improvement.
Yeah, to be clear, I think the apron comes to an existing sidewalk, so I don't think a sidewalk is involved. The removal of the apron, the curb cut, and installation of brick would be, but I think the sidewalk crosses the top of the apron.
Okay, well, those are final engineering details that you can
Sure,
work out
sure.
at permit with our engineers.
Yeah, it's a detail, for sure.
But I just wanted to put that out there for the Plan Commission to understand. And then, again, you would work with staff on that application for the facade grant.
Okay, thank you. We will start with Commissioner Zangaro.
Thank you. Question I really just have is, what's the purpose of the two different materials? This hardy board and then the siding, is it just to show people?
Yeah, I think it's mainly a display issue. We're trying to show that product to the potential customers and have it readily available in a large quantity. It's awful hard to see on a small sample board when you're looking at these.
Exactly. That was my basic question. And then with the, I guess the refuge enclosure there, do you bring, when you're doing a job, do you bring it back to the shop here and disregard it, or do you?
It depends on the size of the project, so we keep a refuse container available for if it's a 4 or 5 window job or a small repair job. But if there's a tear-off or large enough to justify a dumpster being brought to a project site, we bring the dumpster to the site.
Okay. One other question with that railing system and then with the walkway. I know it said railing, I think by Menards. Is that a composite rail? Is it a wood railing? Do you know what your?
Vinyl rail.
Vinyl railing?
Vinyl rail.
Okay. That's all I have right now.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioner.
you.
Were you going to say something, sir? No. Commissioner Dorbin.
Oh, thank you. Well, I wasn't at the last meeting. I did go back and watch the video, so I'm pretty much up to speed of what was going on.
Thank you.
I'm certainly delighted with the proposal as it's presented. It looks very, very nice. I love the address numbers. They're big. You can see them from the street. Even no matter how fast somebody's going by, they won't miss your address. So thank you for that. At the last meeting on the south side, you talked about possibly not sodding it because of the shade of the trees that are there. But then I heard tonight you talked about possibly doing some sod and something else. What would the something else be?
So I'm sorry, I don't really remember the discussion about the shade. Actually, we had a brief discussion about having to maintain it. How do you mow that side? But it would be the only lawn that we possess on the property. The something else you referred to is we have wrapped the planting area into what would be the current drive to discourage or prevent anyone from being able to go past the apron, the existing apron. So it's not just tearing out a drive and sodding it and leaving it as a avenue. Instead, it's now encroached on by the design of the retaining wall, which goes about to the midline of the current drive.
Okay. The second floor is not going to be utilized, or are you going to have offices in there?
Oh, second floor is definitely utilized. There
Okay.
are offices
The
upstairs.
only thing that we aren't really using is the deck area. It's not really a deck, usable deck area.
Well, which brought to mind my next question. Are those windows or doors, or are you leaving them as doors, or are they making them windows? What is your plan there?
So I assume you're referring to the second floor
correct.
on the east elevation, what we're
Correct.
looking at as far as the roof of the first floor. There's one of each. If you're looking at the same view I am, the left or south is a window, the
Okay.
right or north is a door.
Okay. And I assume
And
you...
it would be our intentions, we will be replacing them in kind, but just to be new and consistent with the others. But
Okay.
no new openings and no changes to size of existing openings.
And I'm glad that at the last meeting you did say that you wouldn't be making it look like a patchwork quilt. And because it would look strange, you're right. And so I appreciate that. Brooke, there are 11 questions or description of the proposals on there. Have they all, are you comfortable with all of those? That's the background and description of a
Right.
proposal.
I think under senior planner's recommendation to the plan commission, those were the issues that I wanted the plan commission to take a second look at.
Okay, so
So-
you're all happy with those? Okay. As far as under the site plan review, the total number of parking spaces, the commercial vehicles shall be parked in the rear of the property. Is that going to be part of a condition?
Yes,
Okay.
At night?
yes. During non-business hours.
Right.
Okay, and staff has added a condition of approval that the gates shall be braced in steel posts,
Yes.
correct? Okay, we got that in there. Then under the staff review, there was a number of issues there. Are you all happy with those? It's on, let's see, find it. On page 5. Because you're asking to clarify if the parking lot and the access drives will be resurfaced, and to clarify the material list and the elevation plan labels with regard to the siding materials, and clarify if the shutters are proposed, if so, determine the material and color. We're all fine with those?
Okay, so I will add a condition of approval that the parking lot and access drives be resurfaced.
Okay.
Yeah, those are clarifying.
I just want to make sure
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
going
but
through
you're
there.
bringing them up, but I don't think staff is, those were staff's questions that
Well,
weren't
that's,
answered.
it says
right,
under her, it was staff recommendations, the questions. So
To the
that's why I
plan
brought it up.
commission. Yeah, right, yeah.
And then we will, somehow the colors will be relabeled on the final?
Yes, at
Yes.
building
Okay.
technically you don't need a building permit for siding, but this is part of our record and we will ensure that it's done the right way when we do our final inspection.
Okay. And the plantings that you have in front, while I like the variety of the plantings, and I don't want to second guess your landscape architect, but being right there on Milwaukee Avenue, I assume you're going to either burlap that or protect it in some way in the winter, or make sure everything's really salt tolerant?
Yes, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, it's a fair question. It's very close to the roadway for spray.
They're very interesting plantings. I went and looked them all up, and they are very interesting. I like your choice of lighting. Let's see if I missed anything else. No, I think I got everything. Oh, and the fire department asked for the extension on the parking stalls, and that's going to be a condition as well, correct? On number 1 from the fire
It's
department?
a suggestion. I've written it as that the spaces may be increased to 23 feet in length. It's not a requirement.
It's not, okay. And let's see. I think we already talked about the second floor egress. And that's all I have. Thank you very much. The plan is really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to it because it really will make a huge difference on Milwaukee Avenue. Thank you.
Commissioner Powers.
Thanks. You guys came a long way. It's really, really a big improvement. Really appreciate that. Commissioner Dorman asked about the landscaping, and the only thing I wanted to know is like her, I looked up all the plants, and the only one concern you may think about is the juniper. It looks like at maturity that gets 5 feet wide, and I'm just not sure how much area you have to work with. If that thing gets too big, it may overgrow and block out some of the other stuff you have around it. So if you guys are fine with it, I'm okay, but the spread is you may want to go and revisit that, but otherwise, that's fine. Can you describe to me a little bit about the trash enclosure? You said you have 6-foot tall sidings, but on the south elevation and page 12 of our packet, it shows a 5-foot refuse enclosure. So I assume it's 6 feet, but in general, can you explain to me how the trash enclosure is constructed? I mean, I assume you're going to have the asphalt there, and you're going to be putting posts in the asphalt. So what about the sides? Because normally it's going to be like, we usually have like board on board for like a fence, but it sounds to me like you're going to incorporate the siding on the south side into the trash enclosure. So you're just going to like frame out an area and then for the trash enclosure and then just attach the siding to that framing?
Yeah, actually, our intentions are for this to be hardy lap siding, which matches the south elevation. Hardy siding, it's critical that it be laid against a solid substrate. So the sides of the enclosure would need plywood prior to the attachment of the hardy lap.
Okay.
And that would be on a post and
Right.
framing to support the plywood, and then siding applied to it. So it's basically like a wall construction,
Yeah.
just exterior grade.
Okay. The south fence line, that for sure, is that House of Reynolds fence on the south side there?
Yes. Yeah, as best we can tell, it's off the property on the adjacent property.
Okay, well, I know it's not on your property. Is there anything we can do with House of Rental? Because that fence is like leaning over, and is there any way we can try to get a hold of them and have them shore it up a little bit? Because they are removing a tree. They are putting the trash enclosure in there, so I'm not sure how they're going to do that without, having to get into the fence area, but the fence is leaning, and I don't know if there's anything we can do, but I would ask staff if possible if we could possibly contact them, because there is vegetation that's got to be removed off of it too.
We can work with our property maintenance inspectors.
Okay, whatever you can do, I'd appreciate that. The last question I have is the monuments, the sign that's in front of there right now. Are you planning on keeping that sign there?
For the time being, yes. So we have deliberately left it out of this discussion or this proposal.
Have you, okay, and because I was by there the other day and I see what's covering it, and I just would hope that would eventually, you guys would do something with the sign. One suggestion I have is if you guys do go for a sign, I saw the numbering on the building itself. You may want to consider putting some kind of possibly a monument sign in the landscaping area, possibly with the address on there. It's just a suggestion, something you may. Otherwise, you're going to have the numbering there, and I assume that the name of the business will be on the windows or something. Is that the plan?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I really have nothing else, but great job. Really looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you. Commissioner Cianis.
I think the plan is great. Look forward to that building being somewhat renovated and making the strip look better. We had briefly discussed about that apron. Are we gonna address that as a condition of approval? The south side
Sorry,
apron?
I'm distracted.
Yeah, somebody went.
Okay, what the condition that I have crafted for the Plan Commission is the right-of-way work, parentheses, removal of south apron and replacement with sidewalk and brick pavers to match the existing carriage walk shall be completed by December 1st, 2016.
And are you guys amenable to that?
I don't know what I'm agreeing to. I don't know, I understand the scope of the work, I just don't I don't have an idea of what the cost of this is. It doesn't, offhand, it doesn't sound severe, but you might have picked gold-plated bricks that, are
It's a fairly
$10
small
a piece.
area.
But what I don't want to have happen
I
here
don't
is,
think,
is that this improvement move forward, we attach some sort of, approval based on this apron removal and replacement, and then it becomes, the cost becomes an issue, and then they can't move forward with their project.
one thing that I didn't state earlier in one of our staff's concerns and the reason for removing the apron completely and installing at least the sidewalk, maybe not talking about the aesthetics of the brick pavers, but this is a safety issue as well, and we don't want to encourage vehicles to pull in there because there used to be a driveway and they may be used to pulling in. So we do want to see that improved and restored completely.
Okay.
So I do want to call your attention to this site plan. Can you see my cursor? This is the retaining wall that we're putting in. And it's, past the midline of the current drive. So there's no way to pull in or drive here.
I think the concern is someone may pull in here seeing the curb cuts,
Yes,
and that's why we'd like that removed.
I understand.
Would they be eligible with the sidewalk fund at all that we have going to get them a little piece of sidewalk in there?
I don't believe so. I think the sidewalk fund has been allocated for the next year.
Just thought I'd ask.
Okay, that's the only
But-
discussion I really wanted to have.
Well, thank you. I know we have the grant, I understand that, but I'm echoing sort of what Commissioner Sianis had indicated. The petitioner doesn't know the scope of the work. And I'm in agreement that it should be done, but to what level, to understand, he needs to understand this, and I understand he just got this today. So he might not understand. Obviously, he's questioning what needs to be done, what the bricks are. He never even thought of that. So is there some way that we can frame the condition that he can move forward with what he wants to do? Because I'm assuming that the weather is nice, he can start working on this right away. We can frame the conditions so that gives him an opportunity to review that, and in addition, continuing work.
Quite honestly, he couldn't do the cement work now anyway. Cement yards are done. They're not laying cement anymore.
Right.
So there is some time here to think about that, and maybe he can go out and find out what it would cost and maybe.
Well,
Well, this is a minor site plan and appearance review, so the Plan Commission has the final approval. The petitioner can always come back at any time and ask for modification to this approval.
So if it ended up being too expensive,
They could-
after looking at the estimate, he
Right.
could always come back and ask that that condition be removed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that satisfies my,
So
All right,
so
so
if
if
you
we-
go out and look and
thank
it's
you.
and
That-
it's an
that's a good
insurmountable.
clarification.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a removal of a condition, and that would be relatively simple to come
Right.
forward
Okay,
and be able to
then,
explain.
then that would be good, though, because I want the petitioner to understand what he's saying yes to, and if he has the opportunity to then come back and say, well, you know, this is bigger than a bread basket, and it's going to cost more, and, but we're hoping that the facade improvement plan will help help offset some of the costs, but I assume you know some of the manufacturers and you'll get a deal on the materials, so. So, but, yeah, yeah, I guess so. So I just have a couple of things. And I think it's a great plan. I like the idea of using the materials that you actually use in your jobs. And I think at our last session, we talked about the the vinyl siding in the aluminum, nobody uses aluminum, vinyl siding in the back. And as you indicated, you're never going to see two of them unless you're probably in the corner here and you're really looking for that, and I don't know why anybody would be looking for that anyway. I think it's a great concept. The railing, I believe you said that the railings for the existing ramp are just going to be repainted?
Correct.
Okay. And I know the shutters, you said they're red, because that was one of the questions that staff had asked for. So they are red, so we have that in our,
Yeah, we need to get you a manufacturer and spec on that. You need that.
Well, it would be
Some of-
nice, but if you don't have it right now, I'm noting that it's called red, but it looks maroon.
okay. All right.
Because it's definitely not fire engine red.
We didn't have anything on the shutters on it.
Yeah. That's all I had. It's a great concept, and as everybody's indicated, it will definitely improve that building, immensely improve the area. It's just a great job, and if staff can work with what do you call them? The group that is going to talk to House of Rental and see what we can do.
The
Maintenance?
property maintenance.
Property maintenance, great, okay, so that'd be great. So, Brooke, would you like to review the conditions?
Sure. Number 1, commercial vehicles shall be parked in the rear of the property during non-business hours. 2, the trash enclosure gates shall be braced to steel posts. 3, the right-of-way work, including removal of the south apron and replacement with sidewalk and brick pavers to match the existing carriage walk, shall be completed by December 1st, 2016. 4, if the deck that is to be surrounded by a railing is to become usable space, then code requirements for structural support, railing dimensions, and exiting shall be met. 5, the parallel parking spaces may be increased to 23 feet in length for easier access. And 6, the parking lot and access drives shall be resurfaced.
Motion approved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Powers and second by Commissioner Dorban. Mr. Secretary?
Commissioner Powers, I vote yes. Commissioner Dorman?
Yes.
Commissioner Sianis?
yes.
Commissioner Zangaro?
Yes.
Chairman Rafato?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's it. You just have one thing to sign, and Ms. Jones is
Can I ask
pretty...
you again to start work?
As soon as possible. I actually wasn't aware that a permit wasn't required for siding, so we've been waiting for,
Well,
full
you still
plan
needed their
approval.
plan
so.
commission approval.
I have a quick question about 4, your item 4, Brooke. The way I hear it, it says if it's to be usable space.
Correct.
Right.
So we have no intentions for
Right.
that, so we don't really
That
have,
means no one would be out there. That's fine.
I'm sorry, it means what?
If no one goes out there,
Right. But
then
we
we have
a
no
door.
concerns. Right.
That means people, so, but we have no, I mean, really, there's a big air handling unit up there that's an eyesore, and that's the purpose.
Right, and we
of-
understand, it's
okay.
decorative and it
So
serves as
it really
screening.
isn't, I mean, I understand the condition, but we really, since we have no intentions, we really don't
Then
have an
there's no
action.
Don't
problem.
worry about it.
No problem.
Very
It's
good.
more like if you ever converted it to a deck,
Yeah, yeah,
you'd have to comply.
Great, very, very good.
Right.
Totally
Somebody has to
understood.
get up there
Party?
to handwork, maintain something up there.
That's probably
If
the
you
reason
could
I
sign
asked if
these
there was going to
two
be a
things
door
here.
there.
Appreciate the clarification and appreciate your patience and time tonight. Thank you.
Just sign those two right there and there, and you'll get one of those and what you need. You can build,
Yeah, you could set some.
right, set something.
Even if- $2
I like them building something. And one of those is yours. So you get, thank you very much and good luck. Looking forward to it. Approval of minutes, none. Other business. Brooke, why don't we go over the upgrade regarding the Caps Plumbing?
Sure. So Caps Plumbing approached staff with a landscape plan for the front of their building facade. It's really just an upgrade or replacement of existing annuals and perennials within the existing planting beds. And then there's these 3 planters to the side, which will frame the existing parking area. It's staff's determination that this does not need plan commission review because it's an existing planting area and it's extremely minor, and it certainly will be a nice upgrade. So we just want to inform you of this.
Comments? Anybody? Okay, thank you. Approval of the 2016 Plan Commission meeting schedule. This is in our packet. Will you be sending out a separate one? Or do we have to?
So we're only meeting twice a month?
Right, so,
Because I thought originally we were talking about the first, second, and third weeks in each month, so I'm a little confused.
no, we never considered the first week except for during the holidays in November and December. I'm not sure if you were at the meeting when I had first talked about this a couple months ago, when we had been canceling a lot of meetings. So instead of the expectation that we always have 3 meetings a month and then we cancel meetings and we feel guilty about canceling meetings, we thought it would be a good idea just to have 2 stated regular meetings per month on the second and fourth Thursday.
Okay,
And then as needed, and this can be every month if it so happens, we will have a special meeting on the third Thursday. And so we would be happy to schedule those special meetings.
so technically it could be the 14th, 21st, and 28th, like of January, if it was
Yes,
needed. Okay.
yes.
Yes.
But
Okay.
officially, it's
So-
only the 14th and the
Right,
28th of
got
that
it.
month.
Okay,
That makes sense. Do we need a motion?
Yes,
so moved.
I'll second.
Can I do a voice vote?
yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other business? Commissioner Sianis.
I will not be here for the December 10th Plan Commission meeting. I will be out of town at a conference.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Powers?
The only thing I had was, I was always under the impression, and I know we talked about the Hardy board, and I think I've always had in my mind, we were concerned about thickness of it, and I think the dimension 5/8 was floating around, but after going to the vendor's website and looking at, dimensions of Hardy board, I can only find 1/4 and 5/16, so, I mean, that's what I'm gonna go with. I don't think there is such a thing as 5/8. That's all I wanted to say. I only know, unless staff knows of something different, I'm only aware of 1/4 inch and 5/16.
We're not aware of anything else.
Okay, that's it.
Commissioner Dorban?
Thank you. I just wanted to say my thoughts and prayers go out to the folks in California and Colorado. It's been a very sad couple of weeks. That's all I have to say.
Sure is. Thank you. Commissioner Zangaro?
I have nothing.
I got an email today on the Laundry World sign and asking about it. I guess my only comment is that we approve that sign as it is, but what we can't unfortunately legislate is how it's constructed. And I don't know how, because the person that emailed me said that it construction-wise, I mean, that's what we approved, but it was just not put together well.
It sure isn't.
No, and I don't know how we can legislate that. You know, I've never, you know, it's, we don't have, we just can't legislate it. Can't legislate how they put it together and how they put it up. But it really doesn't look nice. After the frame, the box just is, it doesn't look like it's put together. It's done.
Well, staff has not done a final inspection on that sign.
Okay.
We'll do that, and we'll ensure that the frame around the face was
Yeah.
constructed properly, because I know that was a concern. Portions of that frame were broken, and so we'll make sure that everything was supposed to be done that was approved.
I guess I just hoped for a better quality and a better look. I mean, because it is an important corner.
Right.
And you're just coming from one town into our town, and I hoped it would have looked nicer.
I mean, the base looks nice.
The base looked nice.
Base looks great, but anyway. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
I-
All right.
Adjourned. Thank you.
Would everybody please sign back of Terry's nameplate so I can...